Good morning, Stampers. It's Fiona Whitehead here again today from craftystamping.blogspot.com with a new card for you today, and I'm going to do something I haven't done before. I'm actually going to just do this card straight off the bat without having done one before. So wish me luck. I'm using the beautiful you, and I'm using the girl that's dancing. I'm also going to use the Wetlands because I just love this set. I'm also going to use some of our Serene Scenery DSP, and I'm going to use the bit that looks like a beach. So I've pre-started my card because what I've done with my girl, I've cut the paper with a little bit of the sand at the bottom and a little bit of the sky, and I'm using Island Indigo as the background. But what I've done with it is I have clear embossed her in black with our clear embossing ink. Now I've done this beforehand because my heat tool doesn't reach over to where my video is, and then I'd have to go off camera, and that just doesn't look very good for you. But I did think, well, maybe somebody hasn't used the our Stampin' Emboss clear powder before and doesn't quite know what it is. And basically, if you want to emboss any of our colours, you need the clear embossing powder. All you do is you get your stamp and you emboss it onto Versamark ink first. Then you put your stamped image with the Versamark onto any of our inks, stamp it, use your embossing buddy first, which gets rid of all the static, and then put the clear embossing powder on top, and then heat it with your heat gun. And in that way you can get all our colours embossed. I've embossed her because I want to use our watercolour pencils, and I just like to colour inside the lines with the watercolour pencils when it's embossed. I just find it a little bit easier. So I'm using our lovely watercolour pencils, and I'm going to use the Rich Raspberry and Melon Mambo. I have no idea if these are going to work, but I'm going to give it a go. I'm just going to quickly colour her in. The darker one really is to give the shading. Do you think she's got... No, I think her sleeves are bare, don't you? Because she's on the beach and hopefully it's a lovely sunny day for her. So do it a little bit darker for your shading, where you would imagine the shade lines would be, and out to there. And obviously I'm just doing this quite quickly, but you can see how quickly and easy our colour pencils are. And then I'm going to just fill in a little bit with the Melon Mambo, just to give us a slightly different colour to her dress. Now you can use the aqua painter after you've done this. Be careful with it though, because this isn't watercolour paper, so you don't want to make it too wet. That would make your paper a bit wet. You can leave them as they are, but I'm just going to use one of our blender pens, and it'll just give it that little shimmer. Just make sure it's nice and clean. And do you know, I have had these blender pens for years and years, possibly since 2008. And they are still going strong, and I do use them, so it's not as if they've been sitting in a cupboard and haven't been used. There we are. And I'm just going to finish her off with, well, you guessed it, a bit of Wink of Stella, just to give her that sparkle. I know it doesn't show up on video very well, Wink of Stella, but it certainly does on the cards, doesn't it? Gives that lovely sparkle. Her hat, should we give her a colour in her hat? How about a bright yellow? Which one's this? Daffodil Delight. There we go. Does it make you feel like summer's on the way? But it's a lovely day here in the UK today. I have put some pictures on my blog of taking the dogs out for a walk this morning, and it was frosty, it was cold, it was a blue sky, and the sun was shining. Just lovely here in Hampshire at the moment. So there we are. There, she's quite simple done. Now I want to just add the little birds off the Wetlands, and I'm going to use Early Espresso. And I'm just going to make sure I've got them the right way up though. So I don't want my birds upside down, otherwise that will not look so good. Should we just check? There we go. Let's just have them. I'm just going to take them off the card, so I want them just sort of waddling off the paper a little bit. That's so sweet, aren't they? Oh, doesn't it make you think of summer? And a sentiment. Let's choose a sentiment. And what do you think? Life may not be the party we had hoped for, but while we're here, we might as well dance. And that's that one. This is what I do with my stamps. I don't bother with the images. I put my foam onto here, and then I always know I've got a stamp missing because I just do not want to lose my stamps. Does that sound as though I have lost them at some point? Luckily enough, I've always found them, but sometimes they do go astray, especially those little tiny ones. Let me just make sure we've got that the way up. Now, you could also clear emboss this just to make it stand out a little bit more. And I probably would, but for today, because I'm going to try and do this live, I'm not. I'm literally just going to stamp this straight on. There we go. So quick and simple, but I hope you think that that's very effective. You can add some threads or enamel shapes or anything, but I think that'll be fine just as it is. So we'll just nail it onto our card. And there we are. Simple. So we've had some watercolouring and some clear embossing. So thank you for joining me. Don't forget, if you subscribe to my channel, one lucky subscriber will win all the products that I've done this month. And I've really gone quite busy this month, so there will be quite a few products coming to you. Projects, not products. So thank you very much for joining me. And if you're in the UK and you'd love to join my team, I'd love to have you. Thank you very much. Bye.